take everything back with you, wrap it all up.
Well, while Gadge has been troughing, I've just been sorting out our eating for a MilSim session. Now, there have been a few criteria for this. We're not talking about sites with loads of refrigeration. We're not talking about starting bushcraft fires so you can make steaks over the coals and all that sort of stuff. But you could easily do that if you turn up on a Friday night.
Yeah, with permission of the site.
With permission of the site, feel free to trough away. And also, if you just turned up, you're less likely for stuff to go off. But what we're talking about today is shelf stable, things that will last 2, 3, 4 days without any trouble at all.
And quick to do.
Quick to do, things that aren't going to make you ill. One of the major sources of people going down, having a bad time, one, not drinking enough. I need between 2 and 4 litres of water a day if I'm not doing anything, and if I'm busy, upwards of 6 to 8. I would generally take 6 litres of water per day for just me.
One thing I carry, Tom, in my Bergen I have a tube of rehydration tablets, like lemon flavoured ones. And quite often, especially at a lot of airsoft events, there's a social at some point. It's easy to overindulge, wake up feeling quite dehydrated, quite ratty, quite hungover. Pop one of those in with a pint of water, you feel a lot better, a lot quicker.
That's the main thing. When you come back from a mission, you might only have 20 minutes to turn yourself around, to bomb up and make yourself some food and get a brew on. So you need to be quick. Obvious solution, military rations. We'll talk about those later.
You can't get by on pot noodles. I know a girl in the reserves once who's vegetarian, wouldn't eat the ration packs, did pot noodles all the time, went down on exercise, literally poleaxed, flat out.
Yeah, and the other thing, as Gadge has said, you need enough calories. So if you look at NHS guidelines, it's somewhere between 2,000 and 3,000 calories, depending on your weight, for an average adult, just to sit around in the house.
Yeah, just resting.
If you're out doing stuff, you could easily be doing 2, 3, 4, 5,000 calories. It's actually quite difficult to eat that amount of food, hence why soldiers tend to lose weight on exercise. So what I tend to do when I go away, Gadge knows this, is I'm a real neat freak, and I'll package all my meals separately into Ziploc bags.
See, I'm the opposite. What I tend to do is I put in my back of my Bergen, I've got a food and camping area.
Yeah.
And every night at the end of it, I decant what I need for the next day and put one day's meal into my webbing or my kit.
Yeah, so I just lift the bag out and I pack them in reverse order.
Because I never know if I want to have that thing I planned 3 days ago.
I just like to know. Yeah. So I just like to know what I'm eating. First, I want to talk about some alternatives I found on our local Lidl, Gadge.
Off the shelf stuff.
Off the shelf, shelf-stable stuff I found on a local Lidl. Now this will take a bit longer than rat packs to cook, but also a bit more accessible. Anyone can get hold of it. Potentially a bit cheaper if you're careful where you shop.
And essentially, until we got modern rat packs, a lot of the ways these tin foods, dried foods, are what the army were using 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah. So I nipped to our local Lidl and I bought some stuff. So let's start with breakfast, Gadge. You could easily take some porridge oats.
Yeah.
You might well need to take, obviously milk will go off, you could take UHT, you could take some powdered milk. You can mix your powdered milk in with your porridge.
You can have porridge with water as well, I prefer it with water personally.
Yeah, okay, but you can make up a porridge with, like you normally do at home, with some nuts and some seeds and some dried fruit, milk powder, in a bag, ready to go, absolutely sorted. You wouldn't need to carry another container to cook it in. So, I've also got some, first things first, very familiar, baked beans and pork sausages.
Staple, do the job.
400 calories and quite a bit of protein, 24 grams of protein. Protein's really good for satiation, so you feel like you're fuller than you actually are. So if you it's like if you smash down a load of Mars bars, you're fine for half an hour later you crash. Not great, not going to sustain you. So they're fine for instant hit, but if you want to keep going through the day, you need slow release carbs and protein.
Also easy to open tin.
Yeah.
Don't have to carry a tin opener, useful.
And a lot of the other options I have, you also need a tin opener. So I've got a chili con carne. Now to heat these, you can crack them open, about an inch of water, and just so the can won't explode with the top open, and just heat it through. It will take a bit of time, but
you can decant them into a mess tin and do the same, but again you've got an extra thing to clean up then.
More cleaning.
Yeah.
Right, a couple of puddings. I love fruit cocktail.
Yep.
Again, nice ring pull on top. You eat straight out the can. Done. Fantastic if you're absolutely losing it, and also something to look forward to.
A lot of sugar as well.
A lot of sugar, but something to look forward to at the end of the day as well. Got a nice rice pudding. I used to take, the smaller cans. I used to take those out on the bike actually if I felt like I wanted something a bit more substantial.
Nice rice pudding, you can eat it cold and it doesn't taste too horrible.
And that's another consideration. I like this stuff. You could eat cold. You don't really want to, but it is already cooked. Also,
bear in mind, if you do have to eat or choose to eat things cold, you don't get quite as much of a calorific hit out of it because your body's using its own energy to heat that
Yeah,
and break it down a
it's
little
not
bit. It's not
substantial,
quite as good. You know.
Definitely not quite as good. And also, if you're cold anyway, having warm food is definitely going to help. So rice pudding, great stuff. So you've got a bit more time. Something like pasta and sauce. These are super cheap, not too bad. This also has quite a lot of protein in. Right, so these are like under £1 each.
Yep.
They will give you approximately 400 calories a pack.
And allegedly ready in 5 minutes if you've got boiling water.
Now, the thing about these, those calories come from the milk that you're supposed to use and from a knob of butter. So you probably need to take some milk powder in a small pot. Maybe some oil or something. And some oil just to beef these out as well. So again, it's more faff, but these are cheap. Yeah. These were under 60, 70p a portion from Lidl. But again, you need to cook them in another pot, so you're making mess. And they're not necessarily, and also these are totally dry. You can't take these with you. You can't take them out and just stuff them.
Yeah, you can't eat them raw.
You could, but you'd be there a while. Noodles, same sort of thing.
Yep.
Probably do those in your jet boil, or in a mess tin, or in a Crusader. We'll go through that in a minute. In a Crusader cup. Again, mainly source of carbs. Not too bad. Serving about 200-300 calories. Right, bars. Now I'm type 2 diabetic, so I can't really eat sugar. I can if I'm exercising. So if I'm out riding or hill walking, I can eat sugar, but I tend to eat slow release stuff. So this is raw fruit and nut bars. Okay. These are excellent by Lidl, about 30-40p each. These pack of 5. There are loads of nuts and loads of raw fruit. So these will break down a bit slower than like eating a Mars bar or something.
Well, nuts are good for that anyway.
And these are super cheap as well. Yeah. So these are a really good option. They're about 150.
And you can put them in a smock pocket, so you can actually eat those on the move. You could be in that OP at the game, and you're getting a bit hungry. It'll keep you going to actually get back to your basher.
Stash a couple of those in the smock, and we'll go through. When we go hit the ration pack, which I've got, we'll go through almost how to use it. Yeah. Corned beef, maybe your evening meal.
Very old school that.
I know, but it's done, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's sealed. Eat it, sorted.
And again, you can eat it without cooking it.
Eat it without cooking it, tons of protein, or if you want to, you can always mash it up at the end of the day, heat it through.
Word of warning, with those, that turns into a bit of razor wire, so be very careful opening those up, because it's really easy to slash your fingers up.
But I happen to like corned beef. If you've got some smash with you, you can make a little corned beef hash up at the end of the day. If you've got a bit
extravagant
more,
for outdoors.
It's maybe not a 20-minute meal, but if you've got a bit more time at the end of the day, you can make yourself up a corned beef smash. I've got some wraps. These are brilliant. Again, shelf stable. You can reseal it. You can put anything in there, really. I've got a bit of chorizo.
Yep, I quite often take sausages like that out.
Cured meat. You want to keep it dry. You want to keep it out the sun. You want to keep it away from insects. Maybe you take a little dry bag to put all your food in. Pop it in there. You're going to be absolutely fine. Tons of calories. Quite lightweight. Tons of calories of protein and fat in that as well. Or one of these little Matteson sausages. Again, you can chop that up, put that in a wrap, or you can put it into one of your other meals to bulk it out a bit, get some more protein in. And again, if you look after that, that's not going to go off. You don't want to be there a week, but for a couple of days you'll be absolutely fine. Fruit and nut mix, like a trail mix.
Definitely is a slow release for
This is pretty good. The nuts will offset the fruit, which is fairly fast, but that would look after. Now that's 200 grams, that's 1,000 calories.
Keep you going for a while?
For like 70p. Yeah. So brilliant. And again, that can go. You can decant, put half of that in a smaller bag in a smock pocket, and that'll keep you going as well. Halloumi, squeaky cheese. I actually quite like it without it being cooked, but it's in brine, so it's fine. Certainly for a couple of days, absolutely fine. Maybe if you took a little cool bag, you can just take it out. You're done, and that's probably a couple of meals worth. There's about 600-700 calories worth in there, in that little small block. So that's pretty good. And that will keep you going. So if you have some dietary requirements like myself, it's really useful. Can of tuna.
Always good with fish.
And then I've got a couple of these microwave packs, but you can just stand these in some hot water and they'll heat up. And these are just rice.
I believe you can actually eat those cold as well.
And you could eat these cold as well. But again, if you add some chorizo, add some halloumi, maybe even some squeezy cheese, mate.
Yeah, squeezy cheese.
Squeezy cheese. You can have a great little meal. We've got some cup of soup. If you just need something a bit warming, a few calories. And rather than buying separate coffee and sugar and creamer, picked up these gold lattes.
3-in-1 jobs, yeah.
I normally would just get the 3-in-1, but Lidl didn't have any. But that's, you've got a bit of sugar, you've got a bit of milk, you've got coffee, all in one go, no messing around. Nice and contained. And they will go into your little brew kit. They're quite small. So you can take those out.
Again, you want to minimise your packaging, don't you? I mean, obviously we're showing you what you get when you buy it from the supermarket, but sensibly you want to put it all in a bag together not be carrying quite so much bulk.
Another option is sports nutrition. It's not very nutritious, it's mainly just sugar. These are really for strenuous activity. So if you are out on a big walk, you're riding your bike, for example, you can use these to keep fuel going into you. When you're doing strenuous activity, it's much harder to digest food. It tends to need to be in simpler forms. And again, once you start on sugar, you tend to need to stay on sugar, or you will have a crash. But if you're working really hard and you need to get something down here, and you don't want to throw it all back up again, some sports gels maybe. Right, so that's civvy alternatives, and there's some really good stuff there. It was 20 quid's worth, and there's absolutely tons.
And that's really high street civvy alternative, isn't it?
So there are civvy alternatives for hiking and backpacking and camping, and they're dehydrated, and there are other ones like this, which is a wet pouch, which is very similar to the British Army rations ones. I wouldn't be surprised if this...
Probably made by the same food companies and stuff.
Well,
it's very similar.
Yeah, it turns up. So this is a wet pouch. It's designed to be immersed in hot water, heats up and done. They're also dehydrated meals, which really save weight. You need water, and you just add water to those. But these are expensive. This is what, about
£5?
£5. Some of the really good high-end dehydrated can hit 11, 10, 12 pounds just for one meal.
And bear in mind, for a surplus ration pack, you can get them for as little as £10 and you'll get 3 meals like that in it, and all the extras.
Yeah. So you can also do that. So I might well take civvy food like this. I say civvy, I'm a civvy, I'm a civilian. Take high street food like this for my first meal when we get there that night. And then what I do prefer, however, is British Army ration packs, which we'll cover now. Right, Gadge.
Okie dokie.
In this dry bag, I've pretty much got the content. This isn't a specific Army ration pack.
I've made an average content.
I've made it up out of my rather large sauce. But this is the contents of British Army ration pack. Things I want to do with this is go through, as we talk about it, how I would use it and what to do with it. So let's break this open. Now I would supplement this probably with extra coffee, because I would need to keep going. So in a British Army ration pack, you tend to get, this isn't the bag, but you get a gash bag or a rubbish bag with a brew kit and some accessories in it.
Yeah, and a plastic fork quite often as well.
Yeah, so this also has the plastic fork.
Water purification tablets. Alcohol-free wipes.
Chewing gum.
Yeah.
Bit of coffee, bit of tea. Now what often happens in the army and amongst us as well is if your mate likes tea and you like coffee, you do a swap.
And tell you what used to happen every time, Tom. We'd get a box for a 10-man ration pack in lines, and we'd scavenge through it, swap and throw things away, and you just take what you needed. And you'd leave all the stuff like creamers if you didn't use them. You leave a lot of the soups.
Yeah.
Really, I'd just take coffee and sugar out of the brew kit, really. It's kind of important. Tissue paper.
Tissue paper. Whether you're going to use, no, most milsims, you wouldn't be digging cat holes in the woods, but they do occasionally run out of toilet paper. Don't get caught short.
It's even things like wiping your kit down if you've got tomato sauce off a wrap pack all over it.
You'll then get a range of snacks.
Yep.
So I've got some dark chocolate oat chip. I might be eating those in a minute. Some mixed fruit, a nougat bar, a blueberry turnover. That's more of an evening meal. I've got some smooth peanut butter, a flapjack, and a cereal bar. So you get a right ton of stuff. Some of this you may hate, some of it you may not. Again, you can always swap it around between your mates. Now, some of this stuff you could save. Personally, I would take a lot of this stuff in my smock pockets.
Exactly. It's all stuff you can eat on the move.
Or in my webbing to take out of me. Now, I'll probably chin off the smooth peanut butter, take the fruit flapjack, probably take the cereal bar. Nougat, I might definitely take my OT biscuits. I might leave those with my brew kit to have with a cup of coffee and take my dust it. Now that stuff, and quite merrily
stick it in the smock pocket.
Go straight in my smock pocket. And if I get 5 minutes, I can get 5 minutes. I can just eat. Same would go for some of this stuff. I can put some fruit bars. If you're okay with Mars bars, you can put some of those in as well. A lot of this stuff doesn't melt, which is quite handy.
Exactly. So Mars bars tend to get a bit squishy and melt if you're moving fast and running.
Now my brew kit. Once I've sorted my brew kit out, what I'll do then is that will go into my webbing. Generally with my jet boil or my cooker. We'll just put it in my webbing for now. So that goes straight in there. I'll then go through the rest of it. You tend to get, at the moment, because we've been in sandy, hot places, a lot of isotonic drinks. A lot of people don't like these. I only take 10. I don't really like just unflavoured water. Yeah. But these also have a lot of sugar in. And the problem with eating a lot of sugars, once you start on sugar, you need to like stay on sugar
Top it up, yeah.
and keep going, or you will crash. I tend to avoid these unless I'm really
I'm not a fan of them, to be honest.
unless I'm really knackered and need a boost, or about to do something. I tend to avoid these, so I might well leave these at home and just take a couple of ones I really like. Like I really like the grapefruit one, so I might take the grapefruit one with me.
I used to just take the hot chocolate drink, to be honest.
Yep.
And I used to use that in the porridge.
So I would probably leave most of these at home. I might put one into my water bottle pouch. I've actually already got two in here, just tucked down here, just in case I need a very quick boost. All the water's absolutely disgusting. So we'll leave those. Almost certainly leave those at home. However, hot chocolate drink, mate, gold, absolute gold.
Like I say, my favourite thing to do was mix that with a biscuit block in the porridge with sugar for breakfast in the morning.
Oh, heathen! I love this stuff. So it's my like treat when I go to bed. You could even chuck some coffee in if you want a bit of a hit before you go out on a night mission. But yeah, hot chocolate drink. Again, that'll go into my brew kit. Right, meals. So now we're on to the main meals, Gadge.
Okay.
You tend to get 3 meals: breakfast, lunch, dinner. You may get a couple of sundries depending on what else you've got. So I've got myself some long grain rice.
And I imagine that'll be a curry to complement
which will go with my chicken curry and potatoes.
Yep.
Now, I was told by a very wise man why British Army curries, the modern ones, the old ones probably are horrible, the modern ones are really good. The reason why the modern ones are really good is the only people that fill in the little form asking for feedback are the Gurkhas. And every time, obviously when the Gurkhas know a curry, and when the curry isn't up to scratch, they give quite detailed feedback. So the curries in British Army ration packs are generally brilliant, if you like a curry. So I've got long grain rice and a chicken curry. Now that's not something I'm probably going to take out on a patrol with me, so that will stay with my Bergen or in camp. The next one is pork sausage and beans in tomato sauce.
Breakfast option, really.
That's my breakfast option for me. Again, that will stay in camp and that will stay in my Bergen. So now I'm going to leave camp for 12 hours. I might take those in a smaller patrol pack with spare ammo, gas, BBs,
I like to
extra
take
water.
self-contained meals personally, so I avoid separate rices and that sort of thing.
However, I do have tuna tomato pasta salad.
Again, you
So-
can have that cold.
I can have that cold, so that will go in my webbing. Also, I don't particularly like it, so I'm not likely to just nosh on it just because I feel like it. So maybe you like your best meal, leave in your Bergen,
Keep that as a bit of a morale boost,
Yeah,
really, when you've stopped for the day.
and take something you're not massively keen on with you. And a bottle of hot sauce.
Yeah, I've never felt the need to use that, to be
I
honest.
quite like it, but again, I'm going to leave that with my kit. My blueberry turnover. If I've got space, I might actually take it with me.
See, they're a massive improvement over the old puddings, because the old puddings used to take forever to cook up, because they were
quite
very
like-
stodgy. They had like a chocolate sauce or a custard sauce that wouldn't get soft and fluid, so that had been in your boil
I really
for
like the
ages.
new ginger pudding.
Yeah, they're nice.
They're nice. This is just like a little flat cake thing. Always leave no trace. Take everything with you.
Again, that was a full meal I had earlier. That's a main meal, some drink pouches in the cake pouch, all folded together, so it's not leaking stuff.
One big advantage of this stuff over this stuff, we don't have tins and everything else, and glass to look after. Right, so we've dealt with the British Army ration pack. Again, we've talked about alternatives to that pack, and you can treat them the same way, where you carry them, what you do with them. Gadge, thanks for coming along and
Been a
helping
pleasure,
out,
Tom.
helping
Pleasure.
out today.
You're going to get back in your hammock for a snooze, aren't you?
I am going to get back on my hammock for a snooze because it is super comfy.
Cool. Well, I'm going to go and pack my stuff away, get the car ready then.
Well, don't drive off without me, mate.
I won't, mate, I promise. Honest.